Okay, today we're going to go over the drive shaft for the 5-speed swap. So here's the drive shaft out of the Crown Vic as I took it out. So this is the same yoke and same exact setup that we were running on the automatic. So today what I want to do is I want to change the rear U-joint. Even though we don't absolutely have to, I want to change it because it's out of the car and there's 140,000 miles on it. So I just want to change the rear. And then the front one, we do have to change because we have to change from the automatic yoke to this manual yoke. So here's the yoke that I bought. Here's the part number, M4841-A. Now there is a dash B. Don't be tempted to buy that one because it's cheaper. The dash B is only a 28 spline, so that one won't work. You got to get the A. And this one was about 95 bucks, I think, delivered to me. And I did check that it does slide into the manual transmission. Oh, we got some stickers. Oh, who doesn't like stickers? Alright, cool. Alright, so I just took it out of the bag. It comes with this cardboard thing. And you can see that it is a little bit larger. So this is the one we have to change out. And to do that, we need a conversion U-joint. Now I bought 2 U-joints. This is not pronounced Moog, it's pronounced Moog. But this is the one that is the conversion U-joint. This is the 448, and the caps on this one are different sizes. So you have, this axis up down and this axis front back. So the one axis has the same than the up down axis, or either one. This one is the same and this one is different, kind of thing. So they're 2 different size caps. Whereas this part number, this is a 331. This one is the same size. All 4 caps are the same, and that's for the rear. So if you were going to just change U-joints on a regular Crown Vic, you would get 2 of these. But since we're swapping out U-joints, we got 1 stock one and 1 modified one. So I've got these soaking. So the first, with the PB Blaster, the first step is to get these spring clips out. So what you do is you grab with a pair of needle nose right here, or kind of just where my fingers are, and you squeeze. And there's a groove machined into the yoke and machined into the drive shaft, and you just squeeze and you pull the clips out. See? We are out of juice. Use the whole damn can. We're gonna try a different trick here. It worked on the aluminum parts. Let me try it on the steel parts. So I'm just gonna take a socket, put it between the vise and the yoke. Tighten the vise up. And a couple hits with the hammer on the ear here. Thought it moved. Maybe not. Drive shaft is now free and clear. Remember, the bands go on the drive shaft side, the colored bands. The transmission side, I meant to say. Okay, we're going to start reassembling. I've got everything cleaned up. We're going to start at the differential end first. I took a picture that the weight, here's the weight that's welded onto the drive shaft, is on the same side as our mark. You can see the file mark right there. That's where we marked the pinion flange. So we know it's in the right orientation when we go put it back. So we're going to put it on just like that. So here's our new U-joint. I've pulled the caps off of it. Here's the bag of grease fitting and springs, and you see that the grease fitting faces a certain way. So I'm going to install it so that the grease fitting faces the forward of the car. So you can see just kind of like that. And so what I'm going to do is get this installed. So I'm going to coat the bores of all these with a little bit of assembly lube and kind of get going here. One trick is if you squeeze very gently and rotate the clip in the groove, if you can rotate it, that means it's all the way in. So now we're going to flip it over and drive it against that clip gently. It's all the way in now. Okay, now we switch to the other side. So we clean up the mess here. Still need all these tools though. Here's our 448 U-joint. This is the conversion one. Comes with a bag of so you can see on this conversion one, Moog number 448. This, you know, these axes are larger than this axis. So on our drive shaft, the small one rattles around in there, but the big one fits nice. So let's just make sure that the new yoke eats the small ones, and it does. So that's good. All right, so same thing. We're going to assemble it so the grease fitting faces. They're going to face each other, so inward. Coat some grease in the drive shaft. Put some on the yoke. To take the caps off the big ones, don't lose any needles. Rock it in there like that. Put some on the OD. Okay, so we've driven the first cap down. Install a new clip. The first one's always easiest. Rotate it away from us, so don't roll off the bench. A little bit more. There's our grease fitting right there. Throw that baby in. Think about this one. Okay, so I think that the U-joint it was barely too small. So what I did was I took my little Dremel tool and I took a little bit of material off from this part, this boss of the U-joint, and then I took a teeny bit off, made this kind of this radius at the end of the U-joint a little bit bigger. So I kind of got a spot here and a spot here. And then I cleaned it all with brake clean and compressed air, and that was enough to. Sorry, then you got to rock it on that way, and that was enough to get it on. So now we're going to put the caps on. That looks like we're there. Alright, let's see if that gets in there. Yep, that's it. Alright, it's done. Let me just tap it back the other way a little bit. Gently yet firmly. Ow. Okay, that's it. Our U-joint is now ready to be installed. Let me grease it up real quick. Alright, so that's it. That's our completed, this is a Mustang yoke installation onto our Crown Vic drive shaft. And we got a brand new U-joint back here. So just to go over things, the factory, not the factory one, but just a standard Crown Vic replacement at this end. This was the Moog 331, and this one had the same size caps on both axes. And then up here we did a Moog 448. And this one's got bigger caps on the drive shaft and smaller caps on the yoke. And the yoke we put in is this guy. And again, don't get the B, the dash B. It's cheaper, yes, but it won't work because it's got 28 splines, and that's not what you need. So you need to spend the money and get the more expensive one, unfortunately. And here's our U-joint. Here's our yoke comparisons. You can see they're the same length, it looks like. If I same length, it seems, but you can definitely tell this one's bigger in diameter than this one. So this is the one. This is the way to go. Okay, so now we're done with the U-joint slash drive shaft work, and now I'm gonna go replace the fuel pump and work on the rear axle. Okay, hang on. Okay, so I've got the drive shaft just set in place, fully against a flange, and then I've got it in the trans here, and I just marked on the yoke there. So with the Sharpie, you can see the line. So I'm gonna just drop the transmission all the way out. Sorry, drop the drive shaft all the way out. And there's our line. So you can see how much engagement of this yoke we're getting. I mean, a lot. So this is a TR3650 transmission, and my research is telling me that you do not need a drive shaft spacer. So we're just gonna run it. We're just gonna put it in and run it as is. But I think, and you may need to do a little bit more research. If you were running T45, I think it is, transmission, it's the one in the Mustang that came before the TR3650. So that would be like the 96 through 2000 Mustangs. Those still had the 4.6, but they had a different trans, which I think was the T45. And those, I think, you do need a drive shaft spacer for. But for the 3650, which was from the 01 to 04 Mustang, this is out of an 04 Mustang, you shouldn't need a spacer. So I'm just going to coat a little bit of grease on the yoke here and slide her in and bolt in the 4 bolts at that end. So I'll do that now. Alright, so I'm just about to go to the store to get the oil for the transmission. This is the service manual for the TR3650. I downloaded it off the onlines. So it's saying for the oil you can run Mobil 1 synthetic ATF or Dextron 3, and it needs 3.8 liters, so it is 4 quarts. Wow. 4.015 quarts. Crap, it's a lot. Alright, so I guess I need to go buy 4 quarts of that, plus I need to go buy another quart of gear oil because 2 quarts wasn't enough to fill the rear end. So, plus I'm going to go to Wendy's and get me a Baconator. I'll be right back. Alright, so here's the gear oil. This stuff is 11 bucks a quart, so I got over about 45-50 bucks just in transmission oil, and then it took 3 quarts of gear oil. Well, not all of 3 quarts, but I had to buy 3 quarts. It took about maybe 2 and 2.25 quarts, and that stuff was 13 bucks a quart. So we're up to 36, or almost up to like 90 bucks just in oil, but whatever. So now we're gonna fill the transmission. So, all right, I got the plug out, and I had to use this little mini. It's like a 1-inch long extension for my 3/8 drive. I was able to get it out with that. So now I'm just gonna leave this cardboard on the ground. So when I hear it hit the cardboard, I'll know to stop. Something like that. So now we're gonna go inside. Alright, now we're going to work on filling the oil. So we could do it from underneath the car, but I think that this way is easier. So we got to take the shifter out. If you're going to do a short throw shifter or something like that, now would be the perfect time. This is just the original stock shifter off the transmission, and that'll be fine for me for now. I already had this off. These are 4 13mm bolts. So just zip these off. You should just be able to lift this off, and we're just going to add oil right through this, right in there. So make sure we're clean. Everything looks clean. So let's dump $10 right down this hole. Actually $11. That's all 4. I didn't hear it come out, so I know it said 4.05 or something like that, but
I hate to go spend 11 bucks on a tiny little bit of oil.
It's really cooling off. I think it's going to start raining. But anyway, that's okay. We're almost done outside. I'm just going to RTV that. Yeah, it just started raining. Hurry up here. Alright, so that's clean. It's raining now. Alright, so it's always handy to have just an old coat hanger laying around. I use this thing all the time for various tasks. I know there's good stuff in here. Come on out. Why am I using the red? Because I'm out of the black. That's why. Well, I just punctured a hole in it. That's alright. We'll use our little spaghetti hole here. Don't laugh at me. You've all been here. Don't lie. Yeah, I think I'll just stick with the standard shifter, see how it does, and then, I mean, I've never had a short throw shifter in any of my cars. I kind of like throwing my body into the shifts, you know. It feels like you're driving the car as opposed to just sitting there and steering. So, that's my personal preference, but plus, I spent a lot of money on other parts for this car, and I want to just kind of recoup some of my spending, and if we want to, we can always put one in later. So, all right, so that'll be good enough. And then we just put it back in. Make sure our couple lines, and then put our 413 mil bolts back in. So now oh, while we're at it, when I mentioned this hole before, I said that Pierre's videos online said an inch from this edge. I watched them again. It's actually an inch from this. I think this is the airbag module, or maybe it's the EB. I think it's the airbag module, but anyway, it's an inch from this face. So that makes more sense. I feel a little bit better about that now. I thought my car was different for some reason, but it's about an inch from here is where the hole is. So I misspoke in my last video. All right. Oh, it's part of the shift now that the drivetrain is hooked up. And that's another reason why I didn't put in oil before, because there was no drive shaft, so it just leaked out the back. So now that it's in, it's safe to put oil in. So I'm going to tighten that up.